I want to welcome everyone to this webinar, which is the 4th edition in the Federal University of Agric, Abeokuta. The topic before us this afternoon says wellness and well-being. The word wellness and well-being are used interchangeably and often interwoven, but both emanated from the World Health Organization with a definition given in 1948, which states that health is a complete state of well-being of an individual, not merely in the absence of diseases or infirmity. The state of health and wellness of an individual to a large extent will determine to a great extent a quality of life used by an individual. The quality of life interprets that you can live a quality life at a young age and still enjoy this quality life even at an advanced age. The productivity of an individual could as well be determined by his wellness and well-being. A quality life corroborating that of the life of a productive, the type of job an individual engages, and what it brings out of it, the output, can be marred or made by wellness. And at the same vein, the level of efficiency in the life of an individual to a large extent can be determined by wellness. A person cannot be considered sick or hospitalized or just coming out of an hospital and you still expect such an individual to give his best at work. But when a life is free from sickness, when a life is free from infirmity, when a life is not occupied with all manners of problems, the productivity of that individual will be more than a type who has been sick for a while, someone who has been bedridden for a moment. So to a large extent, wellness and well-being will determine this. The longevity of an individual is subject to wellness, where nature has its own. God has a predestined position for a man. But nevertheless, if wellness and well-being is taken away from a man, such a man may not live long. It doesn't matter what destiny has for him. Wellness cannot be overemphasized. Well-being cannot be overemphasized. And that is why who has taken a picture of what it entails for someone to be well. However, there are some factors that can enhance wellness and well-being. One of them is a healthy lifestyle. A person who is going to live well and enjoy wellness must determine how he lives his life. It's a give and take. You cannot give your life to, let me say, a devil, and you want yourself not to be afflicted. The implication of this is that if you know areas, if you know your go and no go areas, and you feel, well, it happens, I can live my normal life, even what I used to do when I was then at age 10, what I used to do at age 20, youthful age, and you still want to bring such idea to when one is advanced to 50, 60. You can imagine the kind of lifestyle the person is indulging. Nevertheless, the role of regular exercise, which will contribute immensely to wellness and well-being. The way God designed our body, the way God or nature wires our body, does not give room to an individual to keep the body stagnant as if it's a log of wood. A log of wood has no life, it has no breath, it has nothing to lose. We cannot indulge our life compared to a lifeless being. And that is why wellness and well-being will affect our lives if we live a life without exercise. So regular exercise is very, very important in the life of somebody who is going to enjoy quality life. Not only that, there should be moderation in whatever we take into our system. We need to be disciplined. For instance, somebody who was then at 20 would take 10 quality meats in a single meal. He will often take assorted drinks in a single meal. And now he's advanced above 40, 50, 60. Such still want to indulge in what he used to do then. This kind of a life will definitely affect his well-being. So a moderation should be put in place. You can't compare your age and that of a youth if you are not a youth. Somebody will say, after all, I'm still a youth. Very good. You can jump up and down. But you need to ask yourself, those things you carry when you were then at 20, those things you lift easily when you were then at 30, can you try it now? And I give you for an example. A bag of cement is 50 kg. I remember when I was younger, even as a sportsman, I can easily lift a bag of cement. But right now, I will not dare it easily. If I need to dare it, I will roll it rather than to lift it at once. So I need to know that I must discipline myself and take caution so that I can enjoy well-being. Failure which may hurt will be hazardous. Not only that, you must avoid drug abuse. There are a lot of drugs. They are available in patient medicine stores because it works for A. It is not a liberty for a neighbor to say because it works for you, definitely it must work for me. It doesn't go that way. You need to consult those who are along the corridor. You need to consult medical practitioner. They will take you through tests. It's not because a particular medicine works for your friend and you do not know the chemical component of your body. It may work against you and it may work in favor of another. So you need to know the kind of drug you take, especially some of these drugs that the chemical preparation is higher than others. You cannot recommend for yourself because it is working for another. Then you think it can work for you. So you don't abuse drug. Even though when you are given, there is a prescription. You have been restricted to take one. and because you feel your body is not reacting immediately to the drug, it's not a single day that particular ailment gets to that spot, and you cannot remove it suddenly. It will take process before such will melt out of your body. So that process has been measured by the medical practitioner who has given you the number of doses you should take and the hours interval. So if you don't observe all this, it will go a long way to affect your well-being. It will not only be for immediate reaction, it may be for a long-time reaction. We have seen cases where cells are dying continuously as a result of drug intake, and the individual will not know. He will only begin to see some reactions. Maybe his antibodies begins to drop. Maybe he's been sleeping well before. He will discover he can no longer sleep as he used to sleep. He will begin to feel rapid pain. Sometimes it can be headache. Sometimes it can be all manners of joint dislocation. All this will affect a man if he abuse drugs. So you don't go for drugs that have not been recommended for you. Not only this, you may need to control the intake of alcohol. Alcohol, to a large extent, will determine the wellness and well-being of an individual. Well, I'm using this as a point to call those who indulge in alcoholism. The chemical component of alcoholism, a larger percentage of them have nicotine, and some of these components or chemical will adversely affect the intake or the one who takes it. When you take it, oh well, for those who love it, maybe it's sweet, maybe it's bitter, but they enjoy taking it. And some take it because of emotion. Some take it because of influence of a peer group. But the bottom line is this: they all have long or short time problems. And it all depends on when it will start. So it is better that we do moderation, even though you can't do without taking alcohol. Better still, why don't you moderate it? What you take before, can you reduce it now? And I'm talking to people that are matured and people who are younger. It is better for the younger ones to exude whatever is called alcoholism, because the indulgence will lead you to higher. If you take one before, you may be tempted to take two. If you take two before, you may be tempted to take four and thereabout, especially when it becomes so free at a gathering. And all these things, when it accumulates, it destroys your liver, it affects your kidney, it works on the heart. So by so doing, by the time this problem will come, it will surge, and it's a surge that cannot be controlled. And some of this will affect the well-being of an individual. I want to equally say that you should ensure that you observe rest, you should observe recreation, and you should observe quality sleep. What do I mean by rest? Not many people would like to rest. Even God, who created man, according to what we all believe, all religion believes that we all have a God that created man, and he worked for 6 days. Some books say so, and he rested on the 7th day. Are we resting? I ask from us, are we resting? If you are not resting, you will affect negatively your well-being, because you cannot work for 24 hours and decide not to rest. Even when you are supposed to rest, how do you rest? Some people hardly take a rest to sit down for a moment. Some people hardly relax. I can't relax, I need to work. That is the right time for me to work. But when you break down, something will force you to go and rest. Hospital will force you to rest, because when you are given a bed rest, you can't leave the hospital. And when you are discharged from the hospital, you will get back home, you still have to recuperate. All this period you can avoid it by the time you take enough rest, rather than being forced to go and rest. Recreation is very, very important. Some of us, we hardly pray, we go on leave, especially for the working class. When do you take time to relax? When do you take time to recreate? You can't do without recreation. What do you do when you are at a relaxed mood? Do you find yourself joking with people? Do you put a minor game like Ludo, like draft, like what? Do you play them? You need all these things to get yourself back and to recuperate, to bring those cells that have been put to use and dead when you are working. You need to bring them back. There should be a rebirth for these cells. They die every day. They die every second. It all depends on the way you use them. And when they are dead, you need to bring some of them back to life. You cannot bring them to life until you rest. You cannot bring them to life until you recruit. So the number of times, the number of hours you spend recruiting. You can recruit doing minor games, just like I mentioned earlier. You can play Ludo. You can engage somebody in what? You can engage somebody in a draft. All these are minor games. These are intellectual games as well. By so doing, you begin to recruit and adding more to your memory. You can add more to it. You can go for a walk on the road, like our university, Federal University of Agriculture here. We organize twice in a month. Every second and fourth Wednesday in a month, we'll go out for Walk for Life. We had one just this morning before this particular webinar series 4. We walk through the corridor of the university, through the perimeter circle. We walk through it, and everyone will drop a calorie because of what? We sweat, and during the period we were singing, we were dancing, all the parts of the body were involved in this exercise. You cannot rule out a quality life from a life who does that, and the well-being of that individual. So you can see that when you do this, you will get home. You may not need to pay for drugs in order to enhance your sleep, because naturally you will sleep a quality sleep. So some of us who will regularly take drugs to enhance our sleep in the night is as a result of inactivity. When you do activities like 1 to 2 hours in a day, by the time you retire home in the evening, you will discover that naturally your body will want to relax, and by so doing you will be able to sleep well and sound without any hindrance. You will enjoy your sleep. So I want to encourage listeners, please take rest, take recreation, take sleep. It will add to your quality life. Not only that, there are a lot of benefits we derive from doing all this. One of them is being mindful of whom you are. What is your body components telling you? Can you compare A with B? You cannot compare an individual, because this one can do this. It doesn't mean you can do it without paying for it. So what an individual does is because he's already used to it. What you are not used to, your body component may not be able to accept it. Your chemical reactions, all this will tell of you by the time you want to do such a thing. So you need to consider your body component before you indulge or you follow an activities being done by others. You don't just join them, because you cannot dissociate from them. So your body component must be able to accommodate what you can do at a particular point in time, which will adversely affect your well-being and your wellness. So I want to add this, that you should please watch out for your body component. It is a mark. Then I want to talk about hereditary. Hereditary, to a large extent, is a genetic factor. We have various forms of blood groups. I will not go deep into that. We have A, we have B, we have B+, we have all manners of that. But notwithstanding, what happens to a family of A may be as a result of their hereditary. For example, we have some families, the more they take water, the fatter they grow. So more often at times they run away from taking water. Even water, you can't compare yourself with such who would need more water to hydrate himself. Some people have inborn water running inside them because that is their genetic makeup. So what your body cannot accommodate, it is better you don't even take it. So you need to know the generation where you are coming from. Oh, after all, you have 4 fathers. You meet your father, what happens to your father at a particular stage in life, then how do you forestall that from happening to you? We have some families that they will have enjoyed wellness, they will have enjoyed health, but they are prone to diabetes. This particular family, nobody needs to tell them to run away from acute sugar. We have some people that they cannot do without taking soft drinks. I don't want to mention all manners of drinks, but we have them in assorted, and they know the implication because they know the input of sugar in all these carbonated drinks. If you take all these drinks and you know the family you are coming from, that ordinarily you are prone to diabetes, are you hating the diabetes, or you are trying to work against diabetes even at that right age when you are taking it? If you cannot do without taking 1 or 2 per day at your age, then there is a problem. And I'm talking to people who are above 30. You need to watch what you take. You need to know the genetic factor. You need to know what you are likely to inherit from your parents, because it follows the gene, and the genes are passed to their offspring, and offspring will continue to replicate it. So I want to advise that for us to enjoy well-being, for us to enjoy wellness, please know your health status as is attached to your hereditary and it's attached to your genetic factors. This will equally contribute to that. Then your disposition to sedentary lifestyle. Some people are given to sedentary lifestyle. Their callings, their work or job may determine the number of hours they sit at a particular position. You get into the office and you sit all throughout. Maybe you report for work 8 o'clock, you close by 4. You will have spent successfully 8 hours sitting down. This kind of a lifestyle, if it's repeated over and over for a week, 8 hours times 5 days, that is, you know what it means? You are talking about almost 40 hours sitting down at a spot without inactivity other than moving the eyes and the hands where they are sitting. Oh, better still, they are under AC. Better still, they have all manners of assorted food, drinks around them, and is still sitting in a single place for a number of hours. So you can imagine that kind of a life spent over a year, run over many years, 20 years in service, 30 years in service. How is that person going to enjoy wellness? If he's enjoying it, it's just for a while. By the time the problem will start, it will be more difficult to control. It will be more difficult to give a referral assistance. So it is better now that you and I, we are still able, that we watch out for what we do and how we do it. Some people are exposed to industrial chemicals. This will go a long way to affect our wellness too. If you are working in a factory, you are working in an industry, you are working in an office that you are prone to exposures to dangerous chemicals, the number of these you inhale will go a long way to affect your well-being. So whatever has been provided, maybe mask, maybe helmet, in order to reduce the inhaling of these particular materials, we should use it. You shouldn't ignore whatever is provided to secure your life from inhaling these chemicals, because the chemical will go a long way to destroy the components in our body. So I want to advise on this note. Then let me take exercise as a yardstick for wellness and well-being. What is exercise? Exercise are the activities of exerting your muscles in various ways in order to keep your body fit. What we are saying in essence is that the way God wired our body, it is wired in such a way that each of them has a particular function and role they play. We have artery, we have veins, we have capillaries. All these muscles, they carry an amount of blood to different parts of the body. The artery is deeply located. It carries blood from the heart. The vein receives from the heart, from the artery, distribute to other lesser blood carrying muscles like capillaries and others. What we are saying is that in order to make your life quality, in order to live a quality life, to enjoy wellness and well-being, you need to exert these muscles. Muscles are not meant to be redundant. Muscles are not meant to be stagnant. Muscles are not created to be static. You need to activate them. How do you activate them? It is through exercise. So your inability to do exercise should not be surrounded with all manners of complaints. Even right in your office, do you know you can do exercise in your office? And I tell you, we call it aerobics. Do you know that ordinarily when you play some aerobic music, you can move your hands? You can move your hands in the process even while you are sitting. You can move your legs even while you are sitting. You can move your head even while you are sitting. You can move every part of your body. You can swing to the right, you can swing to the left. But how much of this do we do? Aerobics are free using energy. You get free air, you get free oxygen that will enable you to be able to continue to do more. You give more, you produce more, because your life must be productive. Where you are, much is being expected from you, especially if you are a working class. If you are a student, you need to activate your muscles in order to put it to action. So while you are doing this, you are indirectly powering and ensuring a quality life that will empower your longevity in life. What are we talking about? But how do we know the functions of this exercise? What function does it do? Number one, if you don't know today, I want to tell you. The food you take, your refusal to participate in regular exercise will affect your well-being in digestion. Digestion cannot take place easily if you don't exercise the muscle that will carry the food. So you inject it in your body, but when it's about to be going through the process of distribution in the body, that may be problem, because these muscles that will carry them, they have to be activated, and if you don't activate them, they may become stagnant, and at the same time, the passage will become so tiny to even contain the food. So there will be problem in the process. So I encourage you, please do exercise. Not only that, your rate of metabolism. When you say metabolism, there is no one who takes that will not discharge. It can come out through sweating. How much of sweating or perspiration do you observe in a day? Do you sweat? Do you encourage sweating? Is your office encouraging sweating? Do you sweat in the AC? Do you go out in the sun? Do you go out in the night? Do you take a walk so that you can lose part of the water in your body? It comes out like sweat. When you taste the sweat, you see it as a component of a salt. All these are a way of excreting those bad things that are already injected in the food process, and some of them, they are part of the combustion. So you cannot do without exercising, because it will help your rate of metabolism. You sweat from there, you pass urine from there, you do excretion from there. So exercise will help this process to be faster than ever before. Then there are some heart-related diseases that we call cyclopulmonary disease, CPD. It can be reduced drastically. A lot of people are going about with cyclopulmonary diseases now. Is as a result of exercise. Exercise can play a major role to reduce the risk of this. I'm telling you, exercise will play a major role to control it. Then your quality lifestyle. The quality lifestyle will depend on how you value exercise. Taking a walk from one place to another. Take a walk of 30 minutes. Take a walk of 1 hour. Take aerobic exercise for 30 minutes, 1 hour. Will add to the quality life you gain in life. So exercise will contribute to your wellness. Not only that, the deposition of fat in the artery veins, in the artery wall, we call it atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is the deposition of fatty in the artery wall. It will help to control it. The fat in your system, the fat in your body, to an extent, will be an hindrance for you to enjoy wellness. And to get rid of this, you need exercise. it will help you to reduce it, because there is no way you exercise and fat will not be dropped from your body. So I want to encourage you to please participate fully in this. Then we have all manners of risk factor associated with heart diseases. One of them is obesity. When you look at your body makeup, you go on the scale and you discover that at your age, maybe one is 50 years of age and you have a good height, but when you look at your kg, you discover that you're already above 85, you are above 95. Right on that body, it is obesity. Obesity can only be controlled drastically through exercise. There are other things you can do to corroborate exercise, which can assist you to drop the body mass. But exercise in a long way has contributed immensely to drop the body mass, which is heavy, because the kilobyte, the kilogram you are going to drop when you exercise and you recruit will be more than when you are just sitting a sedentary lifestyle. It will be better than that. Then we have blood cholesterol. Blood cholesterol is common among aging people, and research has equally established that it's not only an average of 40 above that has blood cholesterol. Blood cholesterol is associated with all manners of age now, and it has to do with blood having plenty sugar in it. So what we are saying is that you can only control this through exercise, because the more you take it and you do exercise, it will burn up, it will burn. So I want to encourage you to take that. Then we have hypertension. Hypertension is rampant now. You say, weigh my BP. When the BP is taken, you discover that what somebody is already above 150, 160, to that of 80, to that of 90 something. All this will affect the wellness of an individual. Stress is equally there. You can ward off stress naturally through the use of exercise. You can ward it off. It will melt off from your body. Your age will contribute to it. The age you are now, what are you doing with that age? How are you so careful with the age you are now? Are you conscious of that age, that this age will affect your wellness? Because health of wellness talks about being free from diseases, and you cannot be free from diseases if you don't take active and proactive steps to step down some certain things in your life. And you can only do this through all this we are talking about. I want to encourage us today that as many of us who are already above 50, let's be very careful. Let's be very careful. The life you live when you are younger than this, you cannot compare it with the life you are now. Because if you are going to enjoy life, you cannot afford to drop dead. You cannot afford to slum in your office, slump in the bedroom. Enough of all this happening all over the world. People slum in their bedroom, people slum in their offices, people are walking on the road and they just slum. All these are because we do not take to cognizance what we are supposed to check. How often do you check your blood pressure? How often do you go to the hospital for regular checkup? I know you are not sick. Very good. Some enjoy what I call a divine immunity. You have divine immunity. Very good. But can you sometimes just go before a medical doctor to confirm, oh, I'm already 50, I'm already 60, and I want to know my body position? You will be taken through a test. That does not make you sick. It only make you to know the status of what you are right now. So don't use your age as at 40 to judge when you are at 50. Don't use that of 50 to judge when you are 60, and it goes on and on like that. For you to enjoy wellness and quality lifestyle, you need to know what age is saying concerning you. If you don't value your age as it will affect your body component, it will go a long way to affect your wellness. And I want to equally say that you when you participate in exercise, you look slimmer, you look fitter, you even look younger than what nature will tend to call you. Some people will look at some sportsmen, they will ask them, they have sometimes asked me, you are not aging, what is the formula? Well, the formula is I live a disciplined life. Not only that, I give more to exercise. And that is why even when age is telling on us, we don't look like we are aging, just because our life is already adapted to exercise, such that if we don't do it, the exercise will require from us. It's not every time we go on the road to go and jog. It's not every time we go on the field to go and play one ball or the other. But we do all manners of exercises in order to control some excesses that may want to accumulate and will emanate at a time in life to challenge our health. So that you can continue to enjoy health, we need to live a life that looks exercise. We look exercise with deep exercise. So this will help to control that. Then control the life of sedentary lifestyle. Condition yourself not to sit at a particular place for a number of hours. Condition yourself to know that your muscles are accelerated. Let it move from where it is. Move your muscle. Smile, laugh, walk, interact with people. Don't just sit at a spot and close from that place after 8 hours. This will assist us to enjoy wellness, and it will equally give us advantage over atrophy. Atrophy means aging, and aging means a lot of things will begin to set in when some people reach atrophy. And atrophy, you cannot sell it, you cannot buy it either. It is when you get to atrophy that atrophy will begin to descend, and there is nothing anybody can do. But atrophy can be delayed. Atrophy means when you are aging smartly than what the nature will have wanted for you. So atrophy will affect that. And I want to equally say that the diet you take matters. What do you eat? What you eat is what you inject into your body. Do you eat natural food, or you eat canned food that are stored up or are preserved with preservatives? Some preservatives are so active as at the time consumers are buying them in the market. And when you don't give your life to natural environment, you don't take natural oxygen, you don't take natural food, you prefer to go and buy from stores, junks. This will go a long way to affect your quality of life. I want to encourage you at this stage that you should do everything possible to ensure that what you eat agrees with your body components. Don't go and buy food regularly where it is not needed. Don't go and buy food where naturally you don't even need it at your age. Don't go and buy food that are preserved with preservatives. Buy food that are natural. Eat directly from farm. Eat directly from organic material. Don't go for inorganic in most cases. This will affect your life. And for you to enjoy a quality life, a life of wellness, I want to at this junction appeal to you that we need you. We need more of you. We need you to be more productive. We need you to be more efficient. We need you to live a quality life. We don't want you dead early. We want you to live and enjoy the labor of your work. We want you to retire and retire well. We want you as students to enjoy quality life. I want to encourage every listener at this junction, for the purpose of wellness and well-being, please live a healthy life, because health is wealth. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.